There is a predator in your orbit right now. They wear a mask of friendship while mapping your weaknesses. They twist your words into weapons, drain your emotional reserves, and probe your boundaries with calculated precision. Why? Because they have run the numbers and their calculation is simple. They believe you are predictable. They believe you are soft. They believe you are the kind of person who will plead for fairness while they dismantle your reputation piece by piece. But you did not click on this video by accident. A shift has already occurred in your psyche. The old version of you, the one who over-explained, the one who sought validation from those committed to misunderstanding you, the one who bled emotionally for people who didn't care. That version expires today. What follows are not tips. These are 7 strategic protocols drawn from the ruthless realism of Niccolo Machiavelli. He did not write for the naive. He wrote for the sovereign. He understood that the world is not as we wish it to be, but as it is. And in that reality, power does not belong to the loudest voice. It belongs to the most unreadable mind. This is not about revenge. Revenge is emotional. It means you still care. This is about reconstruction. It is about building an internal fortress so impenetrable that those who try to betray you find themselves fighting a ghost. By the end of this session, you will not just defend yourself. You will dismantle their ability to hurt you ever again. You will learn to move with a silence so heavy it breaks their resolve. Sit down, lock in, clear your mind. Class is in session. Number 1. The Protocol of Absolute Neutrality. Your enemies possess a dangerous advantage. They can read your emotional state like an open book. They know which buttons to press to trigger your anger, defensiveness, or despair. Every time you react, you hand them data. Every flinch confirms their control. Machiavelli understood a fundamental law of power. The man who can be read can be led. To break this chain, you must become a wall of absolute neutrality. This is not about suppressing emotion, but mastering it with the discipline of a surgeon in an operating room. When provoked, do not flinch. When accused, do not over-explain. Hold your gaze steady and let your silence act as a mirror, reflecting their chaos back at them without absorption. By starving them of the reaction they crave, you strip them of their leverage. You transform from a puppet on strings into an unreadable fortress. In this state of zero-point energy, you are no longer a participant in their game. You are the observer who holds all the cards. Number 2. The strategy of controlled decay. The amateur reacts instantly to betrayal, exposing their hand and tipping off the enemy before the trap is fully sprung. The master, however, understands the predatory power of patience. Machiavelli wrote that the wise man watches while others act. For in action, people reveal their true nature and fatal flaws. When you detect a scheme, whether in corporate fraud or family manipulation, do not intervene immediately. Instead, allow the lie to rot on the vine. Let the antagonist grow comfortable, arrogant, and sloppy. As they expand their deception, they inevitably leave evidence, contradictions, witnesses, and digital footprints. Your role is to document everything silently, gathering intelligence while they dig their own grave. This is not passivity. It is strategic containment. By waiting for them to overplay their hand, you ensure that when you finally move, your strike is not a desperate defense, but a decisive execution based on irrefutable truth. Time is your ally. Let them waste it. Number 3. The mirror and vacuum technique. This is psychological warfare designed to exploit the human fear of loss. Initially, you must become a perfect mirror. Match their energy with surgical precision. If they are cold, be distant. If they are feigning warmth, reflect it back. This lulls them into a false sense of security, making them believe they have influence over you. Once they are dependent on this rhythm, you execute the second phase, the vacuum. Abruptly withdraw all attention, explanation, and energy. Do not announce your departure. Simply vanish into polite indifference. Machiavelli noted that men value what they have lost far more than what they possess. By cutting off the supply of your presence, you create a psychological void they cannot fill. They will begin to chase you, questioning their own reality and worth, haunted by the silence you left behind. You teach them a brutal lesson without speaking a word. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. And once revoked, it is nearly impossible to regain. Number 4. Sovereign framing. Every conflict occurs within a frame, an invisible context that dictates who is the judge and who is the accused. Manipulators always set the frame first, casting you as the problem and themselves as the victim. If you defend yourself within their narrative, you have already lost, for you are fighting in a cage they built. Machiavelli taught that power belongs not to the strongest, but to the one who defines the battlefield. You must refuse to enter their frame. Instead, seize narrative sovereignty. When attacked, do not justify, reframe. If they call you selfish, ask why they feel entitled to your resources. If they claim you've changed, state that growth often looks like betrayal to those who benefited from your stagnation. By shifting the focus to their motives, you dismantle their accusation and force them to defend themselves. You stop reacting to their arrows and start redirecting their force. The person who controls the frame controls the outcome. Never let anyone else hold the pen that writes your story. Number 5. The architecture of silence. In an era of gaslighting and distorted records, silence is the only weapon that cannot be twisted against you. Aggressors thrive on noise. They want you to argue, defend, and raise your voice so they can paint you as unstable. Machiavelli observed that men who speak too much reveal their fears, while those who say nothing reveal their power. When attacked, deploy the architecture of silence. Sit in bone-chilling stillness while they rant. Let their words echo hollowly in the void you create. This dynamic shift makes the attacker appear desperate and unhinged, while you remain the mountain, unmoved and unthreatened. Your silence is not surrender. It is a statement of supreme confidence. It tells them, I see your game and you are not worth my words. This deliberate quietude forces them to confront the emptiness of their own accusations. By refusing to feed the fire, you starve it completely, leaving them burning in their own frustration while you preserve your dignity and your record intact. Number 6. The intelligence of restraint. Most people destroy themselves by oversharing, handing out personal information like free samples to potential enemies. They reveal plans, insecurities, and vulnerabilities to those who have not earned them, only to have these details weaponized later. Machiavelli warned that every man is a potential enemy, and information given freely today becomes the blade that cuts you tomorrow. You must adopt the mindset of an intelligence agent. Observe everything, expose nothing. Watch body language, track inconsistencies, and listen to what people avoid saying. When questioned, respond with vague warmth that reveals no actionable data. Redirect conversations back to them, letting them fill the air with their own truths while you collect files in your mental cabinet. Information is the currency of power. The person who holds the most while revealing the least controls the board. By moving in the shadows and guarding your intentions, you ensure that when you finally make your move, it comes from a place of total surprise and overwhelming preparation. Number 7. The sovereign exit. The ultimate act of power is not defeating your enemy, but rendering them entirely irrelevant. Many remain trapped in toxic dynamics, addicted to the drama and seeking closure or an apology that will never come. Machiavelli wrote that the man who is free from attachment is free from control. The sovereign exit is your final liberation. Do not announce your departure with a dramatic speech or a long message. Such acts imply they still matter to you. Instead, simply vanish from their life with the indifference of a king stepping over debris. Focus entirely on your own elevation, your health, your legacy, your integrity. As you rise, your success becomes a monument that casts a long shadow over their petty betrayals. They will watch from a distance, realizing that discarding you was their greatest mistake. You leave not with bitterness, but with purpose. By walking away without looking back, you reclaim your time and energy, proving that your peace is worth far more than their presence. The world will always harbor those who play dirty, relying on your predictability and your hunger for validation. But today, you have learned that you are not a pawn. You are the architect of your own fortress. Integrity is not about being nice. It is about being unbreakable. If these strategies ignited a shift within you, declare your sovereignty now. Comment below. My silence is my strength. Let that be your vow. Subscribe to Obsydra for truth, strategy, and the wisdom of those who refuse to be broken. The world plays dirty. Now, you know how to play smarter. Stay sharp, stay sovereign.